their 4-7th ranch.
And thank you very much, Gina. And the weather brought to you by K&R Rental. 256 South, 600 west of Hebron. Number to call, 678-3122. I better repeat it so I get it right. 678-3122. Wonderful people, everything from forklifts to lawnmowers. They can help you. They will at K&R Rental. Nice people. It's time for Merv May to come on in here. Let's sell some cattle. Good morning.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get all the 31, 31, 32.
That's the chant of what I think is the world's best auctioneer right there, Merv May, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Number to call for cattle consignments and sale information, 678-9411. The sale that works for you. Merv May, Cade Rogge, Lance Udy, and sale time today at 11 a.m. They're going to have cattle coming in from the Ward Dairy, 129 head of Holstein steers. Big boys, 775-pounders to 950-pounders. And then they're going to have Ida Gold Dairy bringing in 35 head of Holstein steers, weighing about 850 pounds. Lynn Higley over to Malad, good people over in that neck of the country, bringing in butcher cows and yearling steers. And we've got butcher cows from Oak Valley, Acme, and TLK Dairies, along with the trailer line run. Sale time at 11 o'clock. Don't miss it. The Burley Livestock Sale Yard sale today at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get all the 31, 31, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135, $7.35. Zeb Mail gets bottom again.
I'll tell you what, that chant, he is so good at that. I marvel at the excellence right there. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Today, Thursday, of course, the first day of the PRCA Rodeo at the Cache County Fair and Rodeo, and 8 p.m. the starting time all the way through Saturday. And, of course, Friday and Saturday at 1 p.m. they're going to have pari-mutuel horse races. And don't forget the great big stock sale they're going to have at the fair on Saturday morning. Woo! They got a lot of things coming up, all for the rest of the week at your Cache County Fair and Rodeo. Don't you miss it. If you want to look it up on the website, www.cachecountyfair.com, and make sure you don't miss a minute of all the fun. I've got a question for you folks out there this morning. And this isn't my feature story, but the more I thought about it this morning, the more I want to get your answer on this. I saw a little bitty segment last night, and then I saw another segment on this story this morning at about 4:30. Illegal aliens in this country going to our colleges and universities to get their degrees in various different aspects of life, okay? Many want to become lawyers. Now, if they leave our university system as graduates, now keep in mind, these are illegal aliens. And I still can't understand how they can get in and do all this. But anyhow, they are illegal aliens. My question to you this morning, and I want some calls on this to give me your opinion. How can they, the illegal aliens graduating from a university with a supposed law degree, how can they take the oath to become a lawyer and honor our Constitution if they have broken the law and the rules of the land to be here? Call me, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your calls that I know are coming in, don't forget, Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. They're open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday. All. That means everything. All your heating and cooling and electrical needs right there. They've been serving this area for well over a half a century. Well, think about that. I mean, that's impressive. And believe me, they can help you. Open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, where they provide warm winters and and cool summers. Ramsey Heating and Electric in Burley. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't you go away. Stand there, sit there, have another sip of hot chocolate or coffee, whatever. And speaking of sipping on something or eating something, Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, and 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls, America's Diner. Ooh, let's talk pancakes this morning. I absolutely love pancakes, and they've got a wide array of different pancakes, my favorite being the strawberry cream. Ho, ho, ho. Sink your grinners into those, and you're going to think you're in heaven. They are delicious at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch, and we're going to be over there next week on the 24th for the August Lunch Bunch at Denny's Restaurant in Burley, 611 North Overland. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, they do not take an oath to the Constitution of the United States. They take an oath to the Bar Association.
No, that's not true. They take an oath to honor the values of and the legality of the Constitution.
Which is more important to them, though, the bar or the Constitution?
Yeah, but wait a minute. You're splitting hairs here, my friend Doc. I don't believe that they, A, should become a lawyer in this United States to protect and or serve the laws of this country under the Constitution when you're an illegal alien. So let's not split hairs. Let's just call it what it is.
Okay, but they don't know what the Constitution is to begin with.
Well, wait a minute. That's an assumption. My dear friend, I love arguing with you. That's an assumption that they don't. But I think in many cases they do. We can't assume that somebody doesn't know. The point I want to make it... Wait a minute, Doc. Doc, we can't talk over each other. Just a minute. Let me ask you this. How can you be an illegal alien? Illegal being means that you have come here illegally. You're not a citizen. You're an alien to this country. Graduate from one of our universities and then stand up there and take an oath as a lawyer to the bar or whatever under the rules and regulatory means of our laws and Constitution. I find that completely ambiguous and ridiculous.
Well, the whole thing is because if you go into it's like the cops say, if you want justice, go to a whorehouse. If you want to get screwed, go to the courthouse.
I'm sure glad you brought it up that way. Thanks for the colorful language, Doc.
Think about it.
I appreciate it. Thanks for your call, buddy. I just find it to be, and I thank for the call, but I'd like to hear some other people comment on this. How in the world could we possibly have lawyers stand up there as graduate students of our higher levels of education and say that they're going to represent this, that, and the other when they are already illegal here to begin with? Give me a call, please. Give me your thoughts on that. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call, let's also remind everybody about some of the merchants in the Burley area that would like to invite you to the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. Burley Veterinary Hospital at 2869 Overland Avenue in Burley. They work on all animals, large and small, and they have 2 doctors doing a great job, and they will be at the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. You better believe it. And they say good luck to all the people involved, 4-H'ers, FFA, etc., at the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. Burley Veterinary Hospital on Overland in Burley. Also, Perkins Bakery and Restaurant, 800 North Overland in Burley. Oh, located at the Burley Inn. Easy access on and off the interstate. And, what great food. Oh, my. You're going to love it. Stop into Perkins Bakery and Restaurant, and they invite you to the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. Last but not least, caller, hang on just a minute. I also want to mention Bed Key Treasure Barn, 1558 Normal Avenue in Burley. A large and very unique inventory. Pool tables, salon barber chairs, clothing, toys, welding equipment. Hey, listen, it's all there. Everything at Bed Key Treasure Barn, 1558 Normal Avenue in Burley, inviting you to the Cassia County Fair. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. Personally, I feel the bottom line to all this is keep flooding the country with these foreigners that are coming in here, and sooner or later, they'll have the right to vote. And when that happens, they'll vote every American politician out of office in this country. And it's happening in one city after another right now.
Tony, do you see a distinct movement in this country to make us that want to honor the law, respect the Constitution, slowly but surely every day, and it's more noticeable to me now and more than ever after what happened in Charlottesville the other day, that we are the bigots, we are the hate mongers, and they are the ones that are going to try to stifle us?
Well, the enemies of America are going after the young minds in this country. And it's starting in our public schools at the very lowest grade, talking against the American system that we have right now, and hoping that someday when these young people grow up, they're going to vote for communism.
Well,
communism, anything but the American way of life.
Yeah, and if you train somebody psychologically to be a pig at the trough, in other words, when they hear the old bucket being carried in your hand and it's got all the grain and the goodies, and you're going to pour it in the trough and give them this and give them that, you're going to sell your soul to the devil, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yep, I'm afraid the younger generation is looking for some kind of a great form of life being offered by these Muslim terrorists until they get into that section of the terrorism. They're going to find out that they should have voted for the American way of life.
The naive attitude of America today, to me, is absolutely astounding. We are dumb and getting dumber. I'll stand behind those words. Tony, thank you so much. God bless you, man.
If we lose our country, we're done.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. What do you think about that, honestly? I mean, it seems to me, and I know that there's a bunch of kooks and crackpots out in the audience across the United States that listen on the internet, etc. That's fine. But we are giving more credence and more possibilities and more refuge and more of a welfare base to the illegals in this country, regardless of where they came from, or the refugees coming to this country, than we afford our citizens. No, I know. There's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to yell, "You racist!" I've been called that before. I am going to maintain my value system. I am going to maintain what I believe in, and I'm going to keep denouncing what I don't believe in. I believe that my grandfathers, quite frankly, and my grandparents, my parents, everybody that raised me, I'm not going to throw away their values and denounce them and go with the maddening crowd of idiots and politically correct nincompoops. I'm not going to change my values. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. That's what they're after right now. They want everybody to conform their way. Aha! You won't go with us over what we want on the alt-left. Well, we're gonna get you. And the same can be said for the alt-right. You know, I denounce everybody like the neo-Nazis, the skinheads and everything. Just absolutely a waste of a life. But I say that for both sides. And that's why I say for the news media in this country, the absolute destitute of any moral value news media, criticizing President Trump for saying there were equal values of evil on both sides this last week in Charlottesville, he was right. But the left can't take it. Oh, no, you can't criticize the left. We will get you. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Boy, I tell you, I would not be where I am today physically, recouping after the knee replacement and the broken hip and everything else, had it not been for their great exercise programs and that hydrotherapy pool. I really credit my success to them. I do. Nick and the rest of the crew over there, good people at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. The number to call, make an appointment, 678-1191. They can help you, like I said, get back to being you. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Really good people. Don't leave me hanging. Come on, I'm going to do one more commercial, and then I know you're going to be there with a telephone call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'll give you a little teaser on this. Can you imagine, now close your eyes for a minute. No, not if you're driving, just close one eye. Can you imagine your life without the ability to drive to the store, go to the movies, drive to work, go to the doctor, see the USA in your Chevrolet, and so much more? Think about that. You can't go anywhere. We'll talk about it in just a minute. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Number to call, 436-3200. Yep. They're the only locally owned and operated assisted living facility in the Mini-Cache area. And I'll tell you what, it's a wonderful place, being able to provide more one-on-one care. Nice people. And they make every effort to make Autumn Haven the best place for your loved ones. Please give them a call, find out more. Take a tour, 436-3200. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. All right, your turn. Give me a call quickly, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I have on this program many guests that talk about energy and talk about fossil fuels and talk about our way of life. And then also, after doing some research, there is a large concentration of people, the Tom Steyers and the rest of these weirdos, that want to make sure that we cancel out fossil fuel use. No more gas, no more diesel, nothing. And everything has to be based on electricity, which is absolutely stupid. And they want to eliminate private ownership of vehicles and privatization of being able to go where you want to anytime you want to. We'll talk more about this in a minute. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I'm getting tired of hearing about our president trying to tell us what his intentions are, and the dirty, rotten buggers will twist it around and make it look bad. I feel so sorry for him because I think he's trying to do the right thing. It just isn't. I don't know.
Well, okay, stop right there. He's trying to do the right thing. I am absolutely at the end of the rope, holding on to the knot, for fear that I might say some verbiage on this program that is going to get me in trouble when it comes to talking about the news media and the absolutely slovenly, lazy, and I'll use the term crooked Congress. Senators, congressmen, Democrats, Republicans. I'm fed up with them. Nobody has any allegiance to their party. Nobody with the Republicans wants to stand up for the president and what he's trying to do, whether it's on the infrastructure, whatever. They're picking apart everything he says. I did not find anything he said right after Charlottesville to be wrong. I still don't find what he said to be wrong. I think it was both sides, left and right, that equally bear the problem and the brunt of what happened back there. And I'm sick and tired of the denunciation of our president and this administration. There, do you understand where I come from?
Yes, and I think the Republican Party is starting to eat the young. In other words, we don't have a defined party anymore.
I agree with that.
These Republicans go off on the rail, and I just don't understand it, Zeb.
Well, it's easy to understand. No. It's easy to understand what's going on, Keith. It's not hard at all. The Republicans, in my opinion, and for those that think they know so much more, give me a call. But the Republicans are, and your terminology, I think, is good. They're afraid to stand up for this president because they're afraid of public backlash. They're afraid of politically incorrectness. They're cowards. Do you dispute that?
Well, these people are out to destroy the Republican Party, and if the Republicans could take off the rose-covered glasses and take a look at things, they can see what was happening. They're picking us off one by one against the president. I am just heartsick over it.
Well, we all should be. There's so much that has been wasted time-wise in the last 8 months of his presidency only because of infighting, insurrection, and party politics. And this could all be solved literally overnight, but it's not going to happen. They hate Trump. They hate this administration. The liberal left absolutely is out to do anything they can to disrupt America and cause more anarchy. And I'm like you. I'm fed up with it. I'm sick at heart with it, but I'm not going to weaken. I'm going to keep calling it what it is. They can call me their frivolous little names. They've got so much of a mental problem, but I'm going to keep on fighting for what's right in this country. I'm not going to be absorbed like a sponge into what they want me to morph into. I'm not going to change my ways, Keith Cottom.
I'm not either. But they are. Why don't Crapo call his constituents and tell him what his intentions are? He is. I'm very disappointed.
Well, here's the deal. And I make no bones about it. Mike's been a friend of mine for a long time. But here's the caveat. I am getting sick and tired of having to chase our elected officials down to come on the program. They should be begging me for the airtime to tell their people that voted for them and tell the people that honestly hired them what's going on and where they stand. Look at it this way, Keith. Did you expect people buying a car that you have to reverse the roles and they can just sit back and you have to just absolutely do everything for them? No, it's the buyer's responsibility to go to the lot, do the shopping, tell what they want, try it out, test it and everything. Well, it's also political responsibility of our people. Take the bull by the horns and absolutely tell their people what they're doing. I shouldn't have to chase them.
What have we got to do to wake up this sleeping giant? Because I know it's there. But we just need somebody that's really powerful to take the bull by the horns, and I'm just talking about here in Idaho.
Well, okay, but now, when you shake hands with a politician, let me ask you this. When you go up and shake hands with one of your politicians that represent you, etc., I mean, do you act in a kind of a, meek and mild manner? Do you act like, I better take my hat off and bow my head in reverence to these great people? That's the problem. They actually are our employees. I treat them with respect. I treat them on the same level as I would treat you at Lunch Bunch or anyone else I meet anywhere. I do not hold them in reverence. I do not hold them in high regard. Why? Because they're paid employees that are supposed to do a job. If they don't do the job, then their job description and what they're doing or not doing should be analyzed, and they should be fired.
Well, here a couple of weeks ago, I went to Mike Crapo's office in Twin Falls because I cannot get my veterans benefits that I have earned. And the gal that was in there was very nice. She hadn't been there very long. I think she said about 4 months. And so I was very gentle with her. But here about 3 or 4 days ago, I got a letter back from her. We're working on it, and we'll try to stay in touch.
Yeah.
Mike Crapo doesn't know a damn thing about what's going on.
Well, the thing is, Keith, I'm not going to take a lot of time right now to discuss a personal problem like that. I wish you well on this, but I promise you that I'm going to try again for next week. I've said that for the last 3 weeks, to coordinate a time to get them on the air. I find no reason, none, why they can't take the time to let their constituents know what's going on.
Anything.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. God bless you, man. Thanks. I appreciate it.
They got plenty of time.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. When you look at politicians, and really, when we send somebody back to Washington, D.C., you know, they beg and they make appeals for our vote and our support, and then they get back there, and I'm not going to mention any name singularly, but I'm just lumping everybody together. Why should we in the media, seriously, make all the attempts? Well, now, please, Mr. Senator, or please, Mr. Congressman, please come back on our radio program, which, of course, is heard by your constituents that voted for you and put you in office and are paying your bill. Please come back on my radio program and tell us what's going on. Oh, do you have some of the time, you great valued senator or congressman, to share with us? Baloney. I've chased that parked car for years. And I get a little sick and tired of saying, well, can you please arrange for the senator or the congressman to be on at a certain time? Well, no, he's busy that day, or he's got a meeting to go to, and then they hang up and they don't call you back. That doesn't cut the cake with me. Every one of you that went to the polls and voted, and your person won, you hired them. You deserve, as their employer, to hear what they're doing or not doing, or criticize what they have done and why. And we need to get a lot tougher with these people. One of my dearest friends, a retired representative, I absolutely give him all the respect in the world for what he has done in the past and what he's still doing. And I know from private conversations with this man, he also is very distraught about the shape of politics today and the lack of caring and sharing with the constituents. It's pitiful. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts, Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Wow. All the equipment rentals. Yeah, they got it all over there at Barry Equipment and Rental. All the retail equipment sales. Yeah, I'm telling you, they've got everything over there, and they carry the top brands, all the top equipment at Barry Equipment and Rental, because they do have all the equipment to get the job done right. And still a lot of mowing time out there. I mean, the grass is going to grow for a long time to come. You better check out those Walker mowers. 0% interest for 48 months at Barry Equipment and Rental, Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Stop in and see them today. Okay, back to what I was saying a minute ago about completely taking your life and making you immobile. This is what they are after, and I've got just chapter and chapter of many, many books and different papers that have been written about how the left, they want the end of private transportation. They want to see you do nothing but sell your property if you live in a rural area, move to a commune, and basically you are at the will and the whim of public transportation to go anywhere. They don't want you out in the hinterland. And I'm really afraid that what their movement is doing to eradicate the use of fossil fuels and the private family car and everything can happen and may happen in the not too distant future, because we have become a nation of sheep and we don't fight back. The left is evil, the left is devious, and the left wants complete control of you and your family. And now look, just if you're by a window someplace at your home or your business, look out the window at those cars. Look out the window at all the people that are going maybe to the grocery store right now. Maybe they're going to the shoe store. Maybe they're going to the doctor. Maybe they're going to your office. Maybe they're going to your business to do some business with you. And then picture all of those cars gone. Nobody driving, no private transportation, and especially in this area, I think our cities and towns would be gone. That's what they want. And it can happen. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Please give me a call. Want to hear from you. Don't leave me hanging. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, this is Earl Wortham.
Yes, sir.
My elevator generally never gets off the dirt floor. But what you're talking about there on the transportation thing and pushing everybody into the inner cities is going on in China.
Yep.
Our president, I give him a big hand. He is trying to close these our manufacturing trade secrets off so they're not allowed out of this country. In other words, you and I were talking about rubber products here maybe 2 weeks ago,
yep,
and I've been seeing our products or our material that we buy that's imported into this country just going downhill. He's trying to shut off our technology from going outside of this country, and I hope to heck that he stops other countries from coming in here and mining our resources out, which has been going on for about 50 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And what else am I going to blabber off?
Well, you can also comment.
And the next thing to come, how long before we put a lock and key on our libraries in this country and eliminate people from going in and looking at a real book?
You know, Earl, your point is really timely. Because just this morning at exactly 5 minutes to 7, my time, I was on a phone call back east to New York City, to one of the think tanks that I asked to help supply guests to me during the course of the week. And in our conversation, I mentioned, all about the statues, the Confederate people's statues like Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson and the others that are being toppled, and they want to have a cleansing on the liberal left and no more of this. He brought up the point about what about the books in the libraries, the life history of Robert E. Lee or others. I've got one of the books right here on my shelf, the life history of Robert E. Lee. Are they going to purge and cleanse those and have a book burning behind every library? Your point's well taken.
That's the way I look at it, Zeb. And where they've condensed everything into these computer networks, the libraries go, the computer network goes, and we are nothing but a bunch of single-celled animals out here, I guess.
I totally agree with you, Earl. God bless you for your thought. Good point this morning, sir. Thank you for your call.
Best to you, Zeb.
All right, sir. Take care. Points well taken. What are they going to do? Are they going to go into the libraries and they're going to say, wow, there's a book on the Civil War. We got to get that off the shelf. There's a book about Robert E. Lee. We got to get that off the shelf. There's a book about Stonewall Jackson. There's a book about so-and-so. There's a book about this. I've got a book right here that I can see on my shelf. It's called Company H. And it was written by a Confederate soldier. It's from his diary. Would they, the thought and PC police, we we can't let that be in the library. Why, some mind might read that book and that might open up inquiries as to what happened back in the 1860s. Is there going to be a purging of everything in this country and the rest of us sit by and do nothing like what happened over in Europe with the book burnings, etc.? Have we got to that point in our country and we've just let it happen overnight? Think about it. Right now it's time for the weather. And the weather is brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids with the lovely Dr. Christine Pickup. Oh, my. All the research, all the time and the effort that she has devoted to really studying sound and hearing. And she knows all about hearing health care, including all the tools and techniques that enhance communication for you and your loved ones. If you're noticing a hearing problem, you had better get a hold of Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Number to call for an appointment, 312-0957. Caller, don't go away. I'll be right there. Here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we saddle up and ride again for another Sgt County Fair Rodeo. Looking like a beautiful day, sunny skies. High of 85 for today, a little bit on the breezy side. Winds out of the southwest, right around 10 miles an hour. Gusts possible as high as 20 miles an hour. Tonight, clear skies with a low of 53. Tomorrow, sunny and 88 with an overnight low of 54. And as we head on into the weekend on Saturday, sunny skies, high of 90. That's your weather for Zeb's Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. And brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And thanks to Deanne, we're going to be talking to that lovely doctor, Christine Pickup, later on this morning. Number to call for an appointment, 312-0957. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. Would it be possible to get someone on your program from the National Teachers Association to find out exactly what these teachers are being forced to teach in our schools? Socialism, communism, Sharia law. You know, I'm really curious about that because someday you and I are going to be under control of certain people that we don't want to be under control.
Well, let me tell you this, Tony. I have had many, many times of people of that background, many times. And one of the foremost authorities on what's being taught, what's going on in our schools, is Kyle Olson with eagnews.org out of Michigan. And I will take your statement. I will have him back on the program next week. He's been here many, many times in the past. He is the most honest and straightforward about what's going on in education today, and I'm writing it down right now to get him on the program next week.
Well, I hope so, Zeb, because those young people are going to be in control of millions and millions of Americans somewhere in the future.
No, there's no question about it. And your wish to hear is my command to do, and so I will get them on the air this next week. Thank you.
Thank you much,
You bet, buddy. Thank you very much.
We'll see you soon.
You bet. I hope so. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this. We've talked about illegal aliens becoming lawyers. How can they possibly do that here in our country and then take the oath and say they're going to honor our Constitution? Ridiculous. And we've talked about no gas, no car, can't go anywhere, move to a commune. Oh, what a great life. And let's see what else. The libs and the Dems cannot accept anything or any blame for what they do. They're a demonic bunch of misfits as far as I'm concerned. There was guilt on both sides. There's always, and Trump said this the other day. He mentioned this, and he's 100% right. There's guilt on both sides. There were evil people on both sides in that confrontation in Charlottesville. My goodness, how come you can't just sit back and say, yes, guilty parties and people that let the situation get completely out of hand on both sides. Bingo, bango. Both sides agree that there was evil and there was mayhem created by both sides, so there you have it. Let's work not to have it happen again. Oh, no. Oh, no. The left, they can go ahead and they can topple the statues. They can create the vandalism. What do they get for it? A slap on the wrist or even that? And what are they going to do? Answer this, folksies. What are they going to do for the purification and the cleansing of our heritage and history when it comes to the Civil War battlefields? Have you thought about that? What are they going to do about Gettysburg? What are they going to do about Appomattox? What are they going to do about Bull Run? What are they going to do about all that? Oh, well, we've got to purge. We've got to take a giant eraser, and we've got to kind of blot out the Confederacy and the personalities. This is so distorted and so sick. This cleansing is shameful and wrong. We need to live with our history. We need to accept what our history was and is and will be. It's going to bring us together, I think, as a stronger nation. But when you let certain aspects go, you can't have that, we don't like it, we're going to tear it down, all you're going to have is a civil war, civil discourse, and quite frankly, I think it should happen. There you go. I'm not going to pull any punches. I don't think you should allow vandalism and absolutely demonic people control government and a civilization. Your thoughts. Give me a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call, I want to remind you about our major sponsor. You can get where you're going this summer and then turn around and come home safely if you stop in and see your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They have all the tires, all the sizes, all the tread design for all the vehicles, all the trailers. I mean, everything. Just drive in and say, hey, I need this. Can you help me? And absolutely, bing, bang, boom, you're back on the road. These folks know tires. They know what's going to best befit your driving needs. So stop in today at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and see Lane over in Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Nobody does it better. Nobody cares more. That's, of course, all 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again. Something maybe you can help me understand, and that is this gal that was killed, and my heart goes out to her family and everything, that this tragic thing happened. But do you know what she was there for?
There you go.
Just going to the grocery store or something? Or was she going to participate?
There was a statement said, I think it was by Newt Gingrich early this morning. Don't hold me to that statement. I just heard it in passing. That there should be a lot of questions as to why these people were there at these tumultuous rallies and bordering on fringe fights, etc. Why were they there? You know, I'm not at all, and I want to make this clear because some people out in the audience, they only hear what they want to hear. I am not advocating violence in any way, shape, or form. I absolutely think this was repulsive and did not have to happen. But there again, did not have to happen leads us to what you bring up. Why were they there if it wasn't to create a tumultuous situation?
Yeah, I don't understand that. You or I would not think of jumping into the thick of it, especially when it didn't make any sense.
That's right.
It didn't make any sense.
No, you're right on, spot on what I'm thinking about this. I mean, when you put yourself in a position of hate and possible violence, who really is the guilty party if you're the one that went there in the first place?
Yeah, you're just more fuel for the fire.
There you go, Keith. Thank you for your call. I got another one waiting. Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. With the Charlottesville, that riot, as I call it, who goes to peaceably protest taking shields, helmets, and baseball bats?
Well, okay, we can turn this around and try to make it a little lighter, and I'll say this. When they go to a Raider game, an NFL Raider game, they use the shields, the helmets, and the baseball bats.
Well, you're talking apples and oranges.
Right, I'm sorry. I had to throw that out.
I know it. I don't blame you. But we have the right to peaceably protest.
Yes.
Okay? And that's the key word right there. So if you're going to go peaceably protest, all right, I'm going to get me a shield. I'm going to put me on a helmet, a full-face motorcycle helmet, and I'm going to have me a baseball bat, and I'm going to go peaceably protest.
Yeah, it was preparation on both sides. Both sides are equally evil and responsible, and our President Trump was right. He should not back up on his verbiage, and to the rest of these cowards and people that want to make a bigger problem out of a small problem, they absolutely should be ashamed of themselves.
They should, because I've watched video. I've seen about 4 or 5 different videos of it showing it when they were talking. The two sides were talking face to face, and the left. What do they call themselves? The after or whatever it is.
Antifa,
yeah. They were the ones that threw the first punch.
Yeah. Oh, no, they didn't. Not according to the left media. Why, how dare you? They didn't do and can't do anything wrong.
Well, they done like, what was it? The president that erased some audio tape.
Yeah.
He erased that part because they didn't like it.
Doug, I appreciate your...
They were both bad. They both went there to fight. They both went there to raise heck, and I think we need to get to the bottom on who is putting the money up for these people to do this.
Bingo, you touched on it. I got another call waiting. I've only got 20 seconds. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate you.
Take care of our seniors.
Yes, sir, buddy. Real quick, caller. I've got 20 seconds. Real fast. Go ahead.
Wearing the baseball bat and the helmet and that, they only forgot a couple things. One of them was machetes and their tire irons and stuff like that.
I agree, Jerry. I got to run to the news. Appreciate your comment. Yes, they came well prepared, not to be like nice little quiet sheep. They went there for a purpose, and it was to create problems. Yes, sir. Thank you, Jerry.
May the Lord bless.
God bless you. Got to run to the news. That's an oxymoron coming from me. But anyhow, we'll be back in about 7 minutes. Wheels, old buddy, take it away. And a good morning. Welcome back. Hour number 2 on a Thursday, August the 17th. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, and also some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal.
Western Waste Services, always at your disposal, loyal to the community and the people that they serve. And I told you the other day about me getting a dumpster. I urge you to get one too. If you haven't cleaned out the basement or maybe the back porch or the garage or, in my case, my office for a long time, you can get dumpsters in various sizes, and they'll bring it out. You fill it up. They come and get it. Man, it's neat. Easy to get rid of your garbage. Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Right now, also, I want to quickly remind you about Dr. Bill and the crew over at Ark Animal Hospital, 750 21st Street, near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. Number to call, 678-1177. Write that on your refrigerator or on the dust of your dash and your pickup, 678-1177. Ark Animal Hospital, of course, mixed animal practice, big or small. They love all animals and can care for yours. Give them a call, make an appointment, 678-1177. They, of course, have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Ark Animal Hospital in Heyburn. Really, really nice people. Oh, and real quick, let's see what else have I got to tell you. Oh, my goodness, don't you miss a minute of it, your Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. My goodness sakes, tonight the big rodeo starts. First big night goes through Saturday. And then, of course, don't forget to, on Friday and Saturday at 1 p.m., pari-mutuel horse races right there at the Cassia County Fairgrounds, along with all the other events like the carnival and all the exhibits and the great food. Ooh, you can't go to a fair without enjoying the food. My goodness, it's a lot of fun. Always is. The Cassia County Fair and Rodeo till Saturday, all the way through this weekend. You enjoy. Right now, I know a young lady that absolutely is going to tell us all about what's going on in the area, and she is the main lady at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. Good morning, Kyla.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you this morning?
I am good, and I owe you an apology. I have not yet got over to check out those Eclipse glasses, and quite frankly, I just have been running around in circles. I'm sorry.
Well, Zeb, that's okay, because honestly, I need to let everybody know we are sold out of Eclipse glasses. We've sold out 3 different times since we've brought them in, and so I'm really going to push people to go check out some other places in town. We've got a few places we can list to give you that you want to go check out. But I apologize. Selling out 3 times is not bad. I just wish I was able to get more before the eclipse. And so if you can order them online, if you can order them from a few other places or go check out, there's a couple of the hardware stores in town that are selling them. Stokes Market, I know, is selling them. Please go check those out. Again, they're telling folks that you cannot wear a welding helmet or welding glasses or sunglasses, that will not be good for your eyes. So you need to get Eclipse glasses so that you can view this, because it's coming around the corner very fast, Zeb.
Absolutely.
It's going to be Monday morning.
Now, let's back up just for a second or two. Kyla has consented to come on the air with me at 10:32 next Monday for the final segment of my program, and you and I are basically going to talk about the eclipse. Now, tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I understand this is the first eclipse over the United States that is going to be really this well seen since 99 years. Is that correct?
Yes, I think it's okay. I'm not doing the math well in my head because you put me on the spot, but I think it's 1917 or something like that. It's been a very long time. So this is very exciting that it's going across the entire United States, and that will be visible from so many areas provided the weather is clear. And, you know, I want to be honest with people. We've had a lot of folks dropping in already from Louisiana, from New York, from all over the country.
Wow.
To the visitor center, and they're checking out other things while they're on their way to eastern Idaho, or they're going to be up in the mountains or up in Stanley to view the eclipse. Here where we're at right now, we'll have what's called 97% coverage. So when the moon goes over the sun, there might just seem like a little sliver of the moon might be missing, but it'll still be really amazing to see, provided the weather is clear. In some of the other areas like Idaho Falls and Rexburg and Stanley, et cetera, a little bit to the north of us, they're going to have 100% coverage, and that is why so many people are flocking here. And the Department of Commerce has said they're expecting anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million coming this way.
Oh, my.
Check out the eclipse. So we're just really encouraging businesses, if you don't mind, I'll take a moment, Zeb, but to let us know if you're going to be closed for limited hours that day or if you're going to be closed the entire day. So we want businesses to ask your employees, you know how this goes. Everybody's going to be like, oh, I'm sick on Monday. I just want to go with my family to check out the eclipse. Find out how many are really not going to be there on Monday.
Wow.
And also I would encourage folks, our deliveries are travel absolutely necessary on the 21st. Can you double down on some days before or after to get those workloads shifted so that if there is a lot of congestion or there is more traffic, that just, then the wait times and trying to do your normal stuff won't be so crazy as they seem to be anticipating. We do know of a couple businesses that are going to be closing. Kimberly Nurseries will be closed all day. And First Federal Bank, all branches will be closed for 2 hours from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Monday. So just kind of letting folks know if your business is planning to have limited hours, just let us know here at the Chamber, and we'll be happy to get the word out.
You know, Kyla, I'm almost out of time, but I want to mention, let's kind of make a check-by-check next Monday at 10:30, about an hour, actually, from the eclipse, and kind of go over some of this stuff. But now, you mentioned almost maybe 1 million people coming in to Idaho. My question is, real quick, short answer on this, what are we going to do? What about the infrastructure? What about the work on the roadways, i.e. the interstate? What about all the motels, everything? Wow, an extra 1 million people, that's almost the equivalency of another state of Idaho.
It is. And real quick, I would just say, folks, plan ahead and realize this is a temporary situation. So I'm kind of equating it to like when we had those bad snowstorms, Zeb.
Yeah.
You might want to this weekend just stock up on a few extra things so that if you don't have to travel on Monday, then you don't.
Okay.
A lot of businesses, though, are going to be open. They might have their employees go outside for, the couple hours or just for those few minutes when the moon actually is in front of the sun. It is going to get dark. It will confuse animals. But we'll talk about all of that on Monday. But just, I would say for folks right now, it's exciting. Enjoy the event. Maybe stock up a little bit. Have the gas in the car. And just be ready on Monday. It'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, Kyla, thank you so much. And please, would you do me a big favor? After this segment, would you call Deanne on my home phone line? Would you do that real quick?
Yes, you bet, Zeb.
All right. Kyla at the Chamber of Commerce. This lady really is sharp, and she knows what's going on. Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Kyla, how did they get a hold of you real fast, Kyla?
679-4793. Give us a call. Zeb, you have a wonderful day, and I will be talking with you on Monday.
All right. Thank you. God bless. Thank you so much. And, of course, the great folks over at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Right now, I've got to pay some bills, and we'll talk about that momentarily, but thank you, Deanne, if you'd handle that for me. I want to talk a little bit about Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. The number to call, 436-5636. With our dear friend Joel Heward, his family, and his staff. And I just absolutely want to amplify the fact that they are there to serve you and your family when there's the passing of a loved one. Boy, it's a tumultuous time. You just don't know what needs to be done in such a short period of time. Well, wait a minute. Call them at Hanson Mortuary, 436-5636. They can and will help you, always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary in Rupert, 436-5636. Also, we're going to go to the phone line in just a moment, and we have a gentleman from the ISP, the Idaho State Patrol, coming on the air. But I want to remind you about our dear friends over at Let's Ride. Oh, my goodness sakes, located at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Oh, my. This is where the fun is sold. They've got all the ATVs, all the four-wheelers, all the side-by-sides. What an accessory department. Holy moly, they've got it all. And you know what? To keep you running and going, they've got a super service department, too. It's all there, right there at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Number to call, 436-4771. Let's Ride. It's true. This is where the fun is sold. Right now, thanks to my old buddy Wheels over at the station, my engineer, I believe we have on the phone line and ready to go Idaho State Patrol Sergeant Keith Thompson. Sir, good morning. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, I hope you don't mind if I call you Sergeant Thompson. I kind of like that. It sounds really with a flair on the program this morning. But I got to tell you, I have been well, I appreciate that, sir. I appreciate the fact that you're on here because I myself personally, last Monday evening, was almost turned into an automobile and pickup sandwich on the interstate where they're having the construction. I know they've had a lot of accidents. People are not slowing down. They're not being cognizant about what's going on the interstate. Tell us, how bad is that situation, and what would you advise drivers to do?
Well, I mean, it's always bad when you get a crash, especially in a single-lane construction zone. Most of them aren't real serious crashes. They're more like just because people aren't paying attention and they're running into other people. And I guess the main thing to do is just concentrate on your driving and make sure you leave in time. Realize, ITD has the signs up, expect delays. They only put that up when you need to expect delays. So just kind of take time, leave earlier to wherever you're going, and then pay attention. Don't be eating. Don't be on your cell phones. Don't be doing any of that type of stuff that's going to take your attention off the road.
Sergeant Thompson, one of the things that I noticed the other night when we were detained, I should say, on the interstate, I talked to one of the members of the work crew, and he was relating to me that some of the members of the highway work crews have had some very close calls because of inattentive drivers and speeding drivers. Boy, what would you say about them?
Yeah, and they do face that. It's a dangerous job that they do. That's why we do have, if you get caught speeding in those zones, we do have an enhanced speeding fine that goes with that. That's just common courtesy. I'm not sure how you inbreed that in someone other than with a ticket sometimes. But, just think about that as your family member working out on that road, and hopefully you'll slow down a little bit.
Now, let me ask you, are you anticipating even more of an exacerbated problem over the next 5 days due to the fact that many, many thousands, almost 1 million people are expected to come to Idaho to watch the eclipse? What are your thoughts on this?
Watch it on TV? No, I'm just joking. Just realize it's going to be full. It's going to be bumper to bumper in some areas. And I don't think anyone's going to be going anywhere fast for some of those periods, especially on your road highways like 93 and 75 and 20 and some of those roads up there closer to the Stanley area, as well as when you get close to Rexburg and of course on the west side in the Weiser area and stuff. Just expect long delays and make sure you pack water. And I would have actually an emergency kit with water and food and some flares and that type of stuff. Make sure you got your spare good and everything like that.
I would not trade jobs with you for anything, because I would imagine with all the construction going on and all the knotheads that are still trying to turn it into a racetrack, and then the influx of literally what they're estimating could be another 1 million people coming in here, you don't have that much manpower with the ISP. How are you going to handle all this?
Well, we're working close with other agencies, of course, other law enforcement agencies, other counties, other cities. We're working, we got plans with them, operation plans. Even with that, we're going to be short enforcement. You got your Forest Service and your Fish and Game's going to be here, of course, and BLM. It's definitely going to be an experience. We'll see how it works.
With the traffic, especially right over now on the interstate between Twin Falls and Burley, and then I noticed some severe backups from the Wendell exit clear back to the Jerome exit. People, they just better sit back, relax, make sure they've got enough gas in their vehicle. If it's down below a quarter of a tank, I think they're kind of committing suicide, if you will, by using that terminology of being on the interstate and running out of fuel. What are your thoughts about this? Just be prepared, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. And, of course, depending upon the length of your trip, I would even take it if you go below half a tank. It's probably time to fill up. And I don't know whether you need soothing music or whatever, but we need to get rid of the road rage and just realize there's things happening and that sometimes they're beyond our control and just be able to rest there. Make sure your air conditioner is working if you got air conditioning and those type of things, and your water fluids, and just make sure your car's running well. And then if you do get a minor fender bender or if your car breaks down, push it as far off the side of the road as you can, and so people can keep going.
Sergeant Thompson, you mentioned road rage. Final thought here this morning. We live in a basically rural community up here in southern Idaho, as opposed to whether it's the Denver area or L.A., etc. How bad or how severe is the road rage problem here in southern Idaho that you've noticed?
People, whether rural or city, we have road rage incidents all the time where people cut each other off or you know, and or get right up on someone's tail or any of those type of things. We deal pretty much with it every day. So.
All right. I want to thank you for taking the time to come on my program this morning. Patrol Sergeant Keith Thompson with the Idaho State Patrol. And I think the byword would be keep cool over the next 5 days, right?
Yes, sir, as much as possible.
Thank you very much, Sergeant Thompson. I appreciate it. Come back again soon. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, sir. Did a great job. And Deanne lined that up for me. I want to thank my wife. We just got this idea to have the Patrol Sergeant Keith Thompson on the air representing the Idaho State Police and talking about not only the road rage, but myself personally the other day coming back from Gooding. It was absolutely a mess. Okay. They're trying to redo the interstate. It is a mess. But you've got to sit back. You've got to relax and understand that these folks are trying to do their job. And like talking to one of the guys that was working on the road crew, he said, man, oh man, these people are nuts. They'll come streaming up to a stop line of traffic, hit the brakes, slide sideways, and he says, we've almost got hit a couple of times. Please slow down out there. Caller, I'll be right with you. I got to do a commercial. I promise you're next. Hold on. Don't forget Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. My. For all your life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, for you, your family, and your business, they can and they will help you with the best of professionalism on your insurance coverage. Call them today, 436-4424. 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. They are waiting to hear from you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Zeb, I was going to call in and ask a question of the sergeant, but I missed it. But there's an ad campaign that runs, I guess in Twin. I don't know. I hear it. And it's about, doing other things other than driving, texting, get your, whatever that ad campaign is. But I was going to ask him if they've noticed any kind of decline in, those accidents that involve people being distracted. As well as I do, you pull up to the stop sign, and if you're fortunate enough to be able to look into somebody's vehicle, because everybody's got tinted windows now, and you see them in there texting or holding their phone, and it just seems like everybody is doing it.
Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
Randy, let me tell you a story that scared Deanne and I absolutely to the point of pulling off to the side of the road and going, holy cow. A woman right here on Highway 30 driving westbound passed us the other day reading a book.
See, I laugh, but it's not funny. I ride motorcycles, road bikes, hogs, and I'll drive up to them at the stoplight, and they got their thing, and I just, my temptation is to say, hey, are you really doing that? Are you really driving and texting? And when I go to Salt Lake to get a load of freight for my company, I don't do it all the time. You start getting into the heavy traffic of the corridor down there. The speed increases and everybody's texting. I mean,
it's nuts.
It's treachery.
Well, and the interstate right now is very, very dangerous. I know from being on the interstate quite frequently, the road crews, they're trying to do their job. Man, we gripe and complain about the roads, so when they start fixing them, we gripe and complain because they're in our way and slow us down. We are idiots and we don't think. And I'll tell you what, slow down out there. It's not a bumper car race, for heaven's sakes. And when you see a line of traffic that's stopped, ease up there. Don't come screeching your brakes and maybe turn some people into a aluminum sandwich, for heaven's sakes. You got to use a little common sense out there.
Well, you got to give yourself some, if you're pulling things, a boat, trailers,
yep,
like I do, you better give yourself some gap.
I agree.
Because, when on this one lane business on the interstate, that can pile up quick. In other words, everybody starts stopping.
Yep.
And you're going 70, and the next thing you know is you're stopped.
Yeah.
And you're on the binders, and I'm telling you, you know, and everybody thinks they're going to ride your rear end.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you go, it's frustrating.
Well, I'll tell you one even worse than that, buddy, is right here on Highway 30. We're getting a lot of the overflow of the interstate on Highway 30. And to those nincompoops that don't understand a speed sign that says 45 and you're still doing 70, I hope and pray that the tires on your vehicle fall off when you put it in a parking lot.
Well, the shame of it is this. We're talking lightheartedly, but
real fast, Randy. I'm almost out of time.
Anything happens to anybody's loved ones, and see, this is the thing: accidents happen.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible thing, and nobody wants it to happen to them. But we all believe that it won't happen to us. Well, that's always a terrible. That's a delusional mindset.
I got to run to the new. I got another sponsor coming on and another segment, Randy. I appreciate your call. God bless you, man. Thanks.
You bet, thanks.
All right. He's right, and slow down out there. Deanna and I are really frustrated here. We can hardly get out of our driveway sometimes because these guys think it's a NASCAR race. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. The number to call, 436-3200. Only locally owned and operated assisted living facility in the Mini-Cassia area, and they really care. They make every effort to make Autumn Haven the best place, and they invite you to visit, stop by, take a tour, find out all about your loved one staying there and having that little extra care. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Call them, please, 436-3200. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Real quick, the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo is in full swing, and many of the merchants want you to stop by and see the fair, including Streamline Precision of Burley. Oh, Tim and the crew. These are the greatest folks. Tim's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life, and Streamline Precision at 120 South, 100 West of Burley. They can build your steel buildings just the way you want them. Agricultural, industrial, and community, they've been doing this for a long time, and they are the professionals. Call Tim today at 431-7314. Streamline Precision of Burley, the best, inviting you to the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. Along with Butte Irrigation, 116 South, 600 West, Highway 27 and South in Paul, and the new location on Kimberly Road, north of Kimberly by Red Cap Corner. Butte Irrigation. I'm telling you, their tagline is, "We'll get you wet." That's exactly true. They know irrigation. And when it comes to irrigation, the only name you need to know to remember, as I bit my tongue, is Butte Irrigation. Again, in Paul and in Kimberly. You get a hold of them today, they'll get you wet. Well, I had a little case of the stumblies there. You know, when you're talking on the radio or television or anything and you bite your tongue, you know, you automatically have that, and then you have to keep going. But anyhow, we got through it. Good morning to a lady that never bites her tongue, never makes a mistake, always perfect, on the air, Rita Ramsey.
That sounds like I might be translated today. Is this my last day?
No, I'm just stating a fact that when we make a faux pas, we have to ride the horse through the mess.
That is exactly right.
Which is apropos for talking about what's going on right now. Let me say this, and again, Rita, I always respect you and your opinion. If you disagree, you're going to tell me. I listened right after the fact of Charlottesville. I listened to the president. I listened to what he said. And to be very honest with you, I thought what he said was appropriate. I thought he said the things that needed to be said. And yes, both sides were as evil as the other and looking for a fight and getting a fight. And I don't know why the president has to keep backing up on this. The liberal media is crucifying him.
Well, that's the key to it. They're not satisfied with anything that he says, so they're going to just pick apart and keep after him until they get their way, which is to take him down. That's what they want to do. The big issue is, you and I both know, if you look at this, when he made his comments Saturday, there was not enough information for him to start throwing arrows at one particular thing or the other. So then he comes back on Monday because there's this big, why didn't you say this, and why didn't you chastise them, and all this and that and the other. They find out that they're going to, pick it apart. And so he comes in and he clarifies, and he says, you know what? Both of them are to blame. That should not have happened. Nobody should have been killed. The one group had a permit to gather and protest. The other came in with clubs and bats, and they were ready for an all-out war, and that's what they wanted. And so you've got all of these people, and the majority of them are news people. You don't hear a lot of other people saying a lot about them, but anybody who is tied or has any kind of a connection at all to Trump is turning tail and saying, I better get out of here so they don't scorn me and make it look like that I'm a racist. The thing of it is, if people would start looking at the facts, they would find out exactly what happened. And it was some people who were there to say, we are protesting that you want to take down a statue of Robert E. Lee.
Yeah.
And that's what they were there protesting for. And the other people came in and said, you're racist and all this other, and just actually wanted to start a brawl and a fight. And I think if we were to really start investigating individually, we would find out that the ones that were there with the bats and the combat gear are probably the ones that are related to the Wall Street group and the Black Lives Matter and all of those, and they're paid to go in there and cause all kinds of issues and try to start a war, and that's what they're there for. So in saying what he said, I feel like that he was perfectly right. He said they both were at fault for different things, but what was he supposed to do? Start naming names and go on a little check-off list and say, well, this is an alt-right, and this is a Black Lives Matter, and this is, they never went after that kind of stuff on Barack Obama when those Black Lives Matter were tearing apart and burning down businesses and that type of thing.
You know, your dissertation was one of the most calm and honest appraisals of what's happened, and I really respect what you said. As I look at this situation this morning, and again, tell me if you think I'm wrong, but we have the alt-left, and we have the alt-right, and we've got evil on both sides. But, you made a statement, and I totally agree with it, that if the politicians are going to maybe say they side with Trump, they are cowards because they're afraid that the bulk of the populace will say, did you hear what Senator so-and-so said? We've got to go after him and make sure that he's never elected again. They are more concerned about political correctness than they are patriotism. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And the part that really bothers me about all that is that this political correctness is what is going to absolutely kill us, and it was designed that way. And until we get off of our high horses and start learning about it and understanding what we're promoting when we're promoting political correctness, we're going to fall apart as a nation, and people need to understand that. I'm not saying that we need to be rude or ignorant or call alt-right, a bunch of this and that and the others. I mean, whatever it is, it is. But I think that we need to start just saying, you know what, this is the way that it is. And am I afraid that I'm going to lose my job or be kicked out of town if I say a specific, thing that maybe somebody deems is not politically correct? Well, the political correctness came from the communists in China, and it was made to show that they were in charge and people who did not comply would be killed. And that's where we're at. This news media that we've got are so tied up with political correctness, that's actually what they're espousing to happen.
Yeah, but it's not only the news media. I'm finding fault, and I'm going to just absolutely bury the hatchet in the door of the Republican Party. We have cowards in the Republican Party like Jeff Flake from Arizona. We have cowards, John McCain, I'm going to keep naming names, that absolutely are pandering to the general public in not supporting Trump because they're afraid. They're afraid that if Trump succeeds, that's going to be a backlash against them and they may not get reelected. And I'm looking at cowards on both sides of the aisle, but I'm specifically pointing my finger at the cowardly Republicans.
Oh, absolutely. The thing of it is that most of the Republicans, not all, but most of the Republicans no more wanted Trump to win than fly to the moon.
That's right.
And so when he did, it's kind of like, well, let's get together and see if we can just take him down, and then we'll be, we'll be okay. And if we don't agree with anything and we keep telling people that we're opposed to everything that he's doing and that and the other, we won't be associated. It won't be like we're on his coattails trying to, keep above water. And when he does go down, then we'll be independent away from it, and they can't say, well, you were this and you were that, and you're going to lose your seat and anything else. It's really sad. They do not want to be associated with Trump whatsoever, and the reason is for their own salvation in politics, and that is just bad.
I had a call the other day, and this gentleman criticized me for criticizing politicians, and in particular, what he called my demonizing of the Republican Party. Now, I have been a staunch conservative, and I'm going to say that again very proudly. I have been a staunch conservative in this country ever since I've been a young man, old enough to know the difference. I will not, however, let being a conservative kind of run my mind and what I do in overseeing or covering up what's wrong with the Republican Party. And right now the Republicans are cowards, they're lazy, and they're not working for their constituents. And I'm not going to back up from that.
Well, one of these first days, and I don't know that it's going to happen right away, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if it happened anytime soon, is that the Republicans are going to end up going the same way as the Whig Party did if they don't start uniting and deciding that there are certain things that are good for America and those conservative values are part of them. The big problem with Republicans is none of them want to be conservatives. They just want an R behind their name because they're in a state that would only elect them with an R behind their name.
Right.
If they don't come from a state that has R behind behind the majority, then that's just okay with them, and then they will all change and be a Democrat. But they're all the same. They're not conservative. They don't have conservative values. They're not interested in what's good for America. The majority of them are only interested in what they've got that they need to cover their own behind.
Ask me if all of a sudden I started to perspire. Rita, all seriousness, we are in right now a really dangerous zone, area, whatever you want to call it. Because right now, when you're looking at a cleansing, if you will, of the left wanting to tear down, throw away statues and historical memorabilia because, oh no, we can't have that in front of the public eye. Why, my goodness, we've got to purge that. We're looking at anarchy in this country because we are having the people on the left that absolutely want to rewrite, change, and create a new constitution for this country, and they want to do away with all the old. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And as you mentioned, and I've mentioned too, and I still say this, I think this total thing is totally orchestrated by the left to get what they want. The other thing is these people are all the same people from the Occupy Wall Street, all of those others. They'll just gather together and say, oh, here's an opportunity for us to go and take it down. I was looking at an article this morning that reminded me And we went to Gettysburg back in, I think it was 2007, and saw that beautiful, beautiful area where they've got all the monuments and things like that represent the Civil War, the fight for freedom among everybody, and to release slaves. Has there ever been a nation in the history of time that had a civil war and they lost between 500,000 and 700,000 lives over something that they were so passionate about? And the majority and the ones who won were about letting people have freedom and no more slaves.
Yeah.
And, they discount all of that. They want to erase that. Yeah, I say Robert E. Lee was maybe on the wrong side of the winning team, but you know what? It doesn't change history. And if all they want to do is erase history, that's saying we just don't want people to know what's going on or what happened so they can learn from it and be smart. We want to start our own history, which means us being in charge. And that's exactly what it's going to be, is they'll be in charge as they totally try to erase history.
I want to talk more about this after the weather, because there's a very simple question. Where does it stop? And we're going to talk more about that with Rita in just a moment. Right now, our weather brought to you by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, CPAs that have been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. They know they can help, and they will, with tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, bookkeeping services, retirement planning, and so much more. What a great staff to serve you. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we saddle up and ride again for another Cache County Fair Rodeo. Looking like a beautiful day, sunny skies. High of 85 for today, a little bit on the breezy side. Winds out of the southwest, right around 10 miles an hour. Gusts possible as high as 20 miles an hour. Tonight, clear skies with a low of 53. Tomorrow, sunny and 88 with an overnight low of 54. And as we head on into the weekend on Saturday, sunny skies, high of 90. That's your weather for 7th Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. And, of course, brought to everybody this hour by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company CPAs. Oh, my goodness, they are good with offices in Burley and Rupert. Call them. They can really help folks starting a business or a partnership, or business owners that want to create more employee situations. Please contact them. They are the professionals. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Rita, okay, you want to whitewash America? Knock down the statue of Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson? Oh, you want to go and take down the Confederate flag? Oh, but that's not enough. We've got to go to Gettysburg or Bull Run or Appomattox and erase everything with the Confederacy. Oh, we can't stop there. We've got to run to the library and take away all the books, everything concerning Robert E. Lee, etc. Where does it end, Rita?
Well, that's just the problem. It doesn't end. It just continues to snowball and get bigger and bigger and bigger. This morning I read an article. There's a pastor, if you want to call him that, in Chicago, that's demanding that George Washington's statue be taken down from the Chicago, wherever it's at. It was a great, big, huge bronze statue, beautiful, George Washington on a horse, because he owned slaves, and we need that taken down. It's not going to stop, and people are going to have to get up in arms about it and mad and start countering this baloney before it will stop. If not, it will just keep rolling, and the left will have their way. And let me remind anyone who would be listening to this, there are way less left who believe this needs to happen than there are those of us that say, hey, this is history, this is the way that it is, we're Americans. If there's things that we don't like about our history, let's just make sure it doesn't happen again and go forward and recognize that that was something that was bad and get over it. And I think that's what the Civil War did. We said we do not want slavery. From the time that the founders met together and declared independence from England, one of the big things on their agenda was making sure that there weren't slaves. They started fighting that, and that's why they had issues with getting all the states to join in with various different things is because the southern states wanted slaves, the others didn't. And it took us almost 100 years before we had the Civil War and said no more. But we corrected a wrong, and I don't know what else we can do.
Well, wait a minute, though, and listen to what I have to say about this and then respond. We corrected a wrong, but let's go back 200-plus years and accept the mindset of what was acceptable or not acceptable at that time. And slavery at that time was not denigrated. It was not thought as evil. It was an accepted practice. We are in a different time. We fought for the end of that. But at that time, how can anyone denigrate those people and really condemn them when they were doing a practice that at that time was acceptable?
Well, that's absolutely right. And if you look into history, you'll find out that the majority of the big slave traders were black people.
That's right.
Black
That's
people.
right. That's right. That's exactly right. But what I'm saying is, if these kooks and crackpots, and I heard one this morning that wants to change all the schools that have the name Washington and Lincoln and revert back to another name, this is completely out of control. And if they want to revert back and absolutely abolish or try to cleanse George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, and then there are those of the alt-left, and you've heard this, Rita, oh, well, hey, listen, we've got to rewrite the Constitution because it was written by slave owners. We can't have that. This thing is going to get out of control if we don't stop it.
Well, that's absolutely right. We have to stop it. People need to stand up and start voicing their opinion. They need to flood the representatives, our senators and our representatives, all the way down to local levels, clear up to the top. Tell them we're tired of this. We understand that history is history. We want to make sure that we correct wrongs that are being done right now, but we don't want our history erased. And if we don't start making that explicitly clear to them, they're just going to stay in their little corner saying, well, maybe all of this turmoil will pass me by and I won't have to answer or say anything. We have got to actually say, this is what we can't let happen. And the problem that really bothers me, and I've said this numbers of times on the radio and in our Tea Party meetings and everywhere else, knowledge is power. And when people start becoming educated into history and what's going on, they'll start fighting this because they know the real facts. These idiots that are calling for it to be taken down, they are no more smart about history than fly to the moon, and they think that they can just make history themselves instead of going by, okay, well, this is history, this is what it was, this is how it changed, and this is what we've got now. A big concern is we've got more slaves right now in America than we had before, and they're in the ranks of the illegals here.
That's
who
right.
are being abused because they're here illegally, and we won't recognize that. The alt-left doesn't care one bit about that. You don't hear them fighting about it.
You know, you're spot on, and I want to just quickly, because it's coming up on next Monday, are you an Eclipse fanatic? Are you all excited about watching this? Can you hardly wait? Are you going to take the day off? I mean, tell me, what are you going to do?
I'm going to do what most Americans will do, and that's celebrate the day by working.
There you go.
What we should do.
Yes.
We might take a few minutes off and go see if we can take a gander at it. I did get some Eclipse glasses that they're totally black. I can't even see through them, so I hope they're the real thing. But no, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to get in the midst of all of it. I'm going to fill up I filled up yesterday my tank of gas. I don't have to go to the grocery store for several weeks if it came down to that, and just let those people that are here in the in the area wanting to see this and enjoy it, let them enjoy it, and it's not going to affect me at all.
Real quick, short answer on this, but when I was talking to Kyla at the Chamber of Commerce about 30 minutes ago, I mean, she said that there's an estimation possibly that 1 million people will come into the state. That's almost double our population. That is kind of spooky in a way, is it not?
Well, it really is, and the thing that people need to look for is make sure that you've got fuel, because fuel trucks will not be able to get in and replenish the supplies. The cell phone towers could be overwhelmed and have big issues about the internet and cell phones. So we're just going to have to take it in stride and just make sure that we're self-reliant and not depending on those kinds of things to live our life for 48 hours.
Okay, well, if you see somebody walking up your driveway, forlorn, no food, no cell phone, it might be me, so let me in.
I'll share.
Okay. Rita, I always look forward to having you on the air. God bless you. And no, this isn't your last time on the air. Don't worry, young lady. Thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you.
All right. God bless. Thank you much. Oh, I always look forward to Thursdays and have the lovely Rita Ramsey on my program. Thank you very much. You know, we had the family over last night and friends, and we roped and sat around and visited till late last night, and then yours truly trying to get out of bed. Well, I didn't have supper last night. And then I had a bagel this morning at 4 o'clock, and I'm starving to death. I know some great places to go for lunch. Yes, I do. The AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, they've got the orange and lemonade freezes, and they've got all the different shakes of all flavors, chicken fried steak sandwiches, the Farmer Brown burgers, the fries with the special sauce, all of this and more at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Well, how about Taco Bandito? 2301 Overland and Burley. Oh, wow. I have had numerous times that pork burrito with beans, pork, rice, sour cream, and cheese. It's delicious. And you got to try one of their breakfast burritos. What a great way to start the day. Fantabulous. You're going to love the food. Great people at Taco Bandito. 2301 Overland in Burley. Well, let's move on over to Burgers, etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert, and also 700 Overland in Burley. Root beer floats only 99 cents after 3 p.m. I'll take 6. Oh my goodness, delicious burgers and all the onion rings and tater tots, and every Sunday at the Burley location, shrimp dinner, only $5.99. You better stop in, say howdy to the Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. Well, let's head over to Steve-O's. What a fun place to go. The patio's open during the summer, and on Friday nights and Saturday nights they've got music and a great atmosphere at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn, and great, nice people serving you. And they've got a different soup every day, and they've got a new salad called the Chaos Salad, chicken breast, bacon, pickles, jalapeno peppers. It's good. Steve-O's in Hayburn. And last but not least, Doc's Pizza. 514 6th Street in Rupert. Voted again the best pizza in the Mini-Cash area for 2017. And they've got dessert pizzas. They've got all kinds of different pizzas, and they got the subs and the soups and the salads. What are you waiting for? Get on over to Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. And I am. I got tooth marks in my microphone. We're going to take a little break right now. Old Wheels, over at the main studio is going to connect us with CBS News, and I will be back in about 7 minutes. Don't you go away. Wheels, all yours. Oh, my goodness sakes. Beautiful beautiful day outside. Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them 734-6969. Quick reminder, your Cassia County Fair and Rodeo in full swing. My goodness, today, Thursday, August 17th, of course, the first performance tonight of the PRCA Rodeo at the Cassia County Fair, and it goes through Saturday. Don't forget to Brown Amusements with their carnival. Oh, don't forget on Friday and Saturday at 1 p.m., pari-mutuel horse racing. Just don't forget to go to the fair. I mean, all the exhibits, all the booths, all the nice people, all the great food. Oh, they got the best maple bars in the world over there. All of this and more at your Cassia County Fair and Rodeo for 2017. Don't you miss it. One of the things I was interested in, I found a letter in the paper, actually a short story in the paper the other day, and it leads one to question whether we are really that prepared or not for the eclipse. And this has to do with porta potties. Hey, man, I know my dear friends at Western Way Services, they've got porta potties, and I was going to call them after I cut the story out, and I was going to find out if they are already in short supply. And this story that I was reading is a story about Weiser, Idaho, and here's what the headline said. It said portable restrooms in short supply for the total eclipse over in Weiser. And over there in Weiser, they've got a festival that's going to coincide with the eclipse. And they're saying they're going to have, just in Weiser alone, 70,000 people. That is a lot of porta potties. You want to kind of keep this higher class, but I mean, I see a whole bunch of people standing there bouncing up and down. Anyway, I wonder if that's going to be true all over the state, especially when you get over to eastern Idaho, like over there in the Salmon Chalice area, etc. Holy cow. Anybody that's in the porta potty business, they could become instant millionaires. We're going to go right now and talk to the Cassia County School Days. And we want to say thank you to our sponsors of Cassia County School Days. And, of course, they are A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. They've got all the children's clothing and the furniture. You know, they've got all the bedroom sets and the blankets and the diaper hampers. They got it all right there at A Child's World. 1308 Overland in Burley. Along with Ambulatory Surgery Center. 1344 Highland Avenue, Suite E in Burley. The number to call, find out more about your outpatient surgeries, like life-saving colonoscopies, etc., 677-8888. That number again, 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you right this very moment School Days in Cassia County. And with me is the lovely Cassia County Schools Communications Officer, Debbie Critchfield. Good morning.
Good morning.
What are you doing in August on the 17th day, enjoying a little respite from everything before all heck breaks loose for a new school year?
Not exactly. No, we're gearing up for the start of school on the 28th. And the big project that we've had underway this starting on Monday is moving everything out of Mountain View Elementary School over into our new school, John Evans Elementary. And that has been an event.
Now, when you say it's been an event, I mean, really get ticky-tacky and tell us, I mean, what are you talking about? All the desks, all the cabinets? What are you talking about here?
We moved everything but desks. That was an item that we had built into the budget to get new desks for the classrooms. But everything else, the library with all of the books, and teachers, of course, have their own things in their classroom. And this process started well before school was out in the spring. The coordination and the organization, we were able to get a bunch of boxes donated for the project. There's like 600 boxes that were donated. The principal there, Mr. Heath, had been working very diligently to coordinate all of the aspects of getting the boxes to the teachers and what that effort would look like. Well, one of his teachers has twin sons who are in the process of completing their Eagle Scout requirements, and they needed a project, and so she approached him, this is Mrs. Barfus, she approached him and said, could my sons essentially put this together as their project? And these young men went to work. They got semis donated from various places in the community to come and load, or at least have the ability to load the boxes. Mr. Heath called Kings, as they had gone out of business, and got one of their metal conveyor belts, and you should have seen the process that they had. They had about 150 people there on Monday, and they put a box on this conveyor belt, and it would get pushed all the way to the end where there was a semi waiting to receive the contents, and they would get everything loaded up, and I bet it took a good 10 hours by the time it was said and done to get everything moved over there. And that wasn't putting anything away. That was just getting it into the new school.
Holy cow. And you said that there were a couple of students that wanted this for an Eagle Scout project, and they did all this?
They did. I was very impressed. And I don't know that I've seen such an organized effort. And it was, everyone had a part to play, and they worked, these boys worked very closely with the principal, and they went out into the community and got the semis donated. I know one was from Dot Foods and one was from Handy Trucking. They got helpers in the community. They organized the times for people to be there. Mr. Heath cooked lunch for all of the helpers there in between, so they got Mountain View loaded into the trucks. They cooked lunch, then they took everybody over to the new school and did the opposite, got everything unloaded. The boxes were all labeled with teachers' names so that they knew exactly which rooms to get those boxes into. But now there's a lot of stuff when you go looking at the things that teachers use, the resources and just the supplements that they have in the classrooms today. There's a lot.
I'm sitting here and I'm really impressed that a couple of young people and then their friends and whatever with their scout troop could put together such a well-organized approach to moving. I mean, that says a lot for our young people today.
Absolutely. And, of course, we always have to give the moms a pat on the back. Of course, it was the boys' project, but that she was able to kind of help shepherd them in the right direction. And the fact that she realized that was a real need at the school. How are we going to get this accomplished? And then helped her kids to be able to pull it off was very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what's going on right now on August 17th? You're basically, 11 days away from the start of school. Holy smokes, any untied shoes that you need to relace up and get ready before the 28th?
I bet if you talk to our secretaries, they probably all need anxiety medication. This is always a challenging time, getting students registered, whether you're a returning student or a new student, and then you add in the scheduling. Parents want to know, of course, are finding out which classes they're in elementary, which teachers their students have, getting school supplies, and I know that it can be a challenge to get back onto the school schedule, earlier bedtimes, and that type of thing. And if any students are like my 16-year-old son who's used to eating every 30 minutes while they're at home, that's always a big shift from the summer to getting back into a routine. Can be a challenge.
What about the students themselves? I mean, we're looking at transitions from perhaps an elementary school to a junior high and or to a high school. What about the transitions for those students? That's got to be kind of a worry for the kids and also for the parents, right?
I think so, and I think it's awesome that you have brought this up, because I don't know that in the busyness of getting pencils and rulers and, school shopping and that type of thing, that as parents we take the time to really address that emotional side. Exactly what you've pointed out. Particularly in our Burley schools, there are more transitions there. And you go to a different school at the 4th grade, you go to a different school at the 7th grade, a different school at the 9th grade. And I think that that's an important part of this preparation is sitting down and talking with your child. How are you feeling? And maybe relaying some of the feelings that adults had also. I remember, just having that mutual experience of saying, hey, I remember being nervous about going into high school or going into junior high. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing to point out.
Debbie, I can use my own case as an example, even though I'm an old man. I can remember the first day of high school. Honestly, I came from a country school, and I can remember vividly the first day I got on the bus. I can remember driving into the school parking lot. I can remember getting off and basically just following all the other kids because I didn't have a clue where to go. And we get in, and the first thing they wanted us to do was report to the big gym, and they were going to have kind of a class indoctrination. Holy smokes, I felt like a little piece of sand on the beach, and you don't know where your classrooms are. You don't know anything about the teachers. It can be really intimidating.
I agree. And maybe the older we get as parents, we forget some of that stress and the anxiety that comes with that. And I'd encourage parents, besides talking, if your child is nervous about navigating the school, take them into the school and have them look at their schedule, and this is where this is going to be. You remember, I clearly remember the stress of trying to figure out how I was going to do a combination of a lock.
Yep.
I mean, that alone kind of makes people nuts. And so those are things that, as you pointed out, are really good extras to this whole preparation of school.
It's really funny that you should say that, because you and I, we sound like we might be joined at the hip a little bit on this, because I can remember vividly they gave me the lock number and a confirmation of how it works and everything. You got to turn this to the left, and then you got to turn that to the right, and then you got to go back here, and it should click on 24, the ending number. And you stand there and you got like 37 books and your notebooks and everything, and your locker doesn't work. It doesn't open. And you, as a freshman, you don't know who to talk to. You're embarrassed that you can't open your locker, and it can be really intimidating.
Oh, I agree. I am convinced that one of the reasons that our students don't use lockers like we used to is because they don't know how to work a combination. If you go to most of our schools, you will see that kids either are carrying their backpacks to every single class with every book.
Oh, my.
Isn't your back. Or you'll see things on, benches out in the hallways or hanging on hooks. Kids just don't use lockers like they used to. And I have no science to back it up, but I am just convinced it's because how to open up combinations.
Well, first day of school can be very intimidating, and finding the classrooms, meeting the teachers, finding out about what the do's and don'ts are going to be within that specific classroom. And so, I have a lot of sympathy for the teachers, too, because they're looking out into the classroom at maybe 25 to 30 students that are glaring back at them. They don't know each other, and you've only got a short period of time as a teacher to establish a rapport so that you get the respect. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, sure. It's sort of, everyone's got to get to know each other, even if you had an older sibling that had a teacher or a teacher's familiar with your parents. Figuring out that dynamic that exists in a classroom and how everybody's going to work together is important. And I know teachers, they begin to feel the stress of the responsibility of needing to help kids achieve and get them where they need to be by the end of the year. And hopefully as we kind of work together and talk about some of these things, it's okay to feel stressed out.
Absolutely.
It's all right to feel a little bit overwhelmed. How can we help you deal with that?
Absolutely. We're having a little problem hearing you. I don't know if you're on the move or whatever, but your cell phone's getting weaker and weaker. And I tell you what, Debbie, I really want to say thank you for you coming on the air this morning. On behalf of your position with Cassia County as the school's communications officer, you have done an outstanding job of providing all the interesting segments and teachers, and I'll look forward going into the school year for more of your help. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate all the great support and the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Debbie Critchfield with the Cassia County Schools. And she is a wonderful lady. I really enjoy having her be a part of this program. And And we thank our sponsors, wonderful people. And I want to thank Linda Peterson and what she's done for us and everything. Thank you, Linda. And A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. Yes, A Child's World for all the games, puzzles, toys, clothing, everything at A Child's World. You stop in and see them today, along with Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. The number to call to find out more how they can save you money on your outpatient surgeries, 677-8888. School days in Cassia County. Thank you very, very much. Oh, I've got to get this on here real quick. My buddy George, well, I can't tell you about it because I lost the doggone sheet. Where did it go, Zeb? Oh, here it is. The second annual Patriotic Car Show and Swap Meet is going to be held September 9th, and that's going to be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the historic Rupert Square. Sponsored by the City of Rupert, Combat Vets Association, Rupert Veterans Memorial, and it's going to feature classic cars and race cars, and they're going to have a community flag retirement and lots of good food, entertainment, and more at the second annual Patriotic Car Show and Swap Meet coming up on September the 9th in Rupert. Right now, we are going to go to our business salute for this week, and we are very, very fortunate to have a lady that, man, I'll tell you what, when it comes to sound, when it comes to hearing, and Wheels is going to tell me she's not available.
You got me on that one. Yeah, I tried calling, but it went to her voicemail, but I did leave her a message, but I will continue to...
No, just keep dialing the number, keep calling the number, and please let me know the minute she's there, okay?
Will do.
Thank you. While we're waiting, and Deanne, if you're out in the other room, maybe you could help try to get her also. We'll take some more calls. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And be sure and give me a jingle right now, please. We didn't expect this little lapse, and we're waiting for Dr. Christine Pickup with the Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Hopefully, we will hear her voice in just a moment. While we're waiting, anticipating, give me a call. We'll talk about anything and everything that you want to get off your chest or try to expand upon. So give me a jingle on the landline. Love to hear from you. Next week on Monday, woo, have we got a bang-up, jam-up, good audience appeal listening show for you. I couldn't say that again if I wanted to. And we've got some really heavy hitters that you'll see on all the national programs. We've got Michael Dougherty coming on the program. We've got the attorneys that have represented the Dougherty family down in California over their terrible land case where the feds are suing them for doing nothing more than farming. I mean, it's terrible. And then we've got Cody Wilson, and boy, you talk about self-defense and protecting ourselves. Cody's going to be on the air with us. And then at 10:30 next Monday, we're going to have Kyla back on the air from the Chamber of Commerce, and she's going to be talking about the eclipse and the numbers of people that are here in the state and the use of all of our infrastructure and everything. I mean, when you're talking about maybe close to 1 million people coming in here, holy cow. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Mr. Zeb Bell.
Yes, sir.
I just have to call and give you a shout-out of how glad I was to hear your voice at the Minidoka County Rodeo.
Well, that's nice. Thank you. Thank you. I had retired. I got to tell you a little background on that. I had retired from the rodeo business a couple of years ago. And because my old knees and I didn't want to travel anymore, there were certain things I just didn't want to do anymore, climb through airports, climb up on airplanes and drive all night and everything. But it was really refreshing when the Minidoka County Fair Board, they gave me a call, Greg gave me a call and said, hey, would you consider coming out of retirement just to do our open rodeo? And I said, well, I don't know. And then a little arm twisting, and there I was. And I got to tell you, I never have been treated any better than I was over there.
Well, I have to tell you that you and I have talked about getting into rodeo, and I'm the one that got in just a year ahead of you with Jake Pope.
Specialty Act.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I think you got in the next year.
That was a long time ago, and God bless the Popes. It was my honor to have nominated them to go into the Hall of Fame, and it was just a blessing to see their family turn out. A couple of weeks ago, they brought up over 52 people for that induction ceremony.
That was neat. Well, I wanted to say we sure enjoyed you.
Well, thank you. God bless you for your call, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was nice. There are a lot of nice people right here in this area, and I really appreciate them. We do not know what happened with our interview with Dr. Christine Pickup. Wheels, have you had any success over there?
I haven't, but I am going to try again.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. If it wasn't for old Wheels, I'll tell you what, he's helped us a lot over at the main studios, and we're glad. By the way, I want to put a little personal note in here. Wheels, a couple of weeks ago, was not doing so well and needed some medical attention and everything, and fortunately, this young man's coming back strong, and Gina and I talked. We just absolutely think the world of him. He's a very polite young man, and we thank him for all that he does. Let me see if I got anything else that I need to cover here. Wheels, I have nothing here. We don't know what happened to the good doctor, and we wanted to tell everybody about the great business that she has, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and it's the only locally owned and independent hearing healthcare practice in southern Idaho. And I urge you, and I mean this, to give her a call if you're having any hearing problems, and she can help, and she will help. Dr. Christine Pickup.
Hey, sir.
Yes, sir.
I got her on the phone, actually, if you want to talk to her just for a few minutes.
Real quick. We've only got a couple of minutes left. I'm sorry we couldn't get a hold of her earlier. Dr. Pickup, we now consider you one of the lost and found. Good morning.
I'm so sorry, Zeb. Oh, frazzled mother, too many things going on today.
Well, quickly, give us a little background. I've only got 2 minutes before the hard break at the bottom of the hour. Tell us about Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. You are the only locally owned and independent hearing healthcare practice in southern Idaho. You know hearing and you know sound, right?
Yes, sir, I sure do. We are proud to be locally owned. My husband and I own our practice. We are independent. We don't belong to a buying group. We're not owned by another corporation. And we are completely independent, which gives us more choices for our patients. We can work with any manufacturer. We just can bring more to the table than anyone else can.
And real quickly, doctor, and I'm making a quick synopsis, hearing is not just an age problem. It can be related to a lot of problems other than just everybody thinking they're getting old.
Oh, absolutely. Medications can cause hearing loss. Measles, different diseases can cause hearing loss. Noise exposure is the biggest risk that most of us face. Being around loud noises and having that damage your hearing, that causes more problems than anything.
Well, I want to urge everybody to call the number 312-0957, 312-0957. We're going to have you back and make sure that we have the same time constraints and get you on the program because I've got a lot of questions. But thank you for calling in, and we'll have a repeat performance, okay?
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. God bless you. Take care. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids with Dr. Christine Pickup. And right now, let's send it back over to our main studio. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb back.
Oh, morning. And we're in the last half hour of Zeb at the Ranch for this week. And I'm very honored to have this gentleman come on my program and talk about infrastructure. And the Wheels, is that you?
Yes, sir. I'm not able to get a hold of Mr. Rinaldi either.
Wheels, this is not good.
No, it's not, especially for being a Thursday.
You know, I'm about ready to jump out of a basement window. Where is everybody today?
I'm with you on that one. We might need a trampoline as well.
All right. Well, listen. You just keep consistently dialing, and I'm going to have Deanne. I threw it in the trash over there, Deanne. I thought I was not going to need it. I'm laughing because this is live radio and it's enough to make you go crazy. Waiting for Deanna, it might, I don't know what I did with it. I wadded it up. It's a wadded up piece of paper over there. This is live radio in my home trying to find an information seat. And there it is, all wadded up in the garbage. We are waiting for Anthony Rinaldi, and he is the president of the Rinaldi Group, one of the largest construction management companies in New York, and we can't find him. So we're working on that. In the meantime, if you would love to save Zeb Bell from a schizophrenic fit over here, give me a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. See, a long time ago, somebody that doesn't understand putting on a radio program, they said, well, you don't need an engineer. All the more reason right now for Wheels and also my wife. Thank you very much. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, I have your parachute ready.
Well, good. Send it over via passenger pigeon or whatever.
You know, when you had Debbie Critchfield on, I would love to ask her a couple of questions. And one of them is, are we vacating one of our schools?
To my knowledge, and I'm not going to give my opinion on this, also, that was a question that I should have asked, and I dropped the ball on that, what they're going to do with the vacant building. And that is a good question. And if anybody out there knows, they can call in right now, because as you know, my guest is unfound. So we might pursue that a little bit.
And the other question I had is, where are we at on that big mistake with the school district in regards to that architect in Pocatello that made a humongous mistake?
Why don't you do this, and not, instead of making an inference on the air and not having the knowledge or the exact information that you need, you call the school office right now and get that information, okay?
I'll get that from Galen.
All right, you call. Galen's a very good friend of mine. If he's in his office, Deanne, somebody's at the back door. This is really falling apart at the seams here this last half hour trying to find Anthony Rinaldi. Hey, God bless you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You bet.
All right. And then to top it all off, while all this is going on in my studio, somebody's trying to call me on my cell phone. Now, how in the world do they expect me to answer on my cell phone at this particular time? That does make no sense to me whatsoever. Calls are welcome and appreciated to fill the void of time as we're waiting and trying to find our guest that had confirmed for this 10:30 hour. And he is the sits on the board of directors of the Associated Builders and Contractors of the Empire State in New York. And we wanted to talk to him about our infrastructure, about President Trump's infrastructure bill, and we can't find him. So please give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We'll just go this way. Has everybody been to your county fair? Did you enjoy your county fair as they're winding down in this area? And what's your favorite thing that you found and or did at your county fair? This is me grasping for a straw right here, trying to fill the time. So give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. When I was a young kid back in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, and of course the Jefferson County Fair was the big deal. We were always in the livestock business, you know, with the horses and everything, and fair time was a lot of fun time for my sister and myself. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I just heard the question asked about the new schools, or the new school and what's happening over there. My son has a daughter who's going to be going to the new elementary. She was in the, what is it, the one that's closer to the highway, the old one that they're vacating at the moment. And it sounds to me like for, I don't know, a year, maybe not even that long, they're going to put everybody into the new elementary, and there's going to be some upgrades taking place in Mountain View.
Okay.
And it's still a wonderful school. There's lots of reasons to keep it. My gosh, it cost us a lot. And I think the upgrades will be taking place. And then when they're all finished, then we'll know what's going to happen to the kids that go in one place and one in the other. But this early in the year, it sounds like they're trying to, catch up.
Oh, so basically, with the moving from one school to another location, another building, basically for the renovation and upgrade of the other building, and then there will be a division, if that's proper, of the students staying at one school and then going back to another. Is that right?
Well, that is probably on their plate. I'm not going to be telling stories out of school that I don't know all the information for. But it makes sense because Mountain View is a perfectly good school.
Yep.
And I don't know that we even have it paid for yet. So for heaven's sakes, we can't just abandon it. But you know how it is with computers and all of the things that are coming into the lives of these kids, which maybe were not even being used that much when Mountain View was built. So this is called progress.
I'll tell you what, Chris, I really appreciate your call on this, and I'm, as you know, I did not have my guest show up for this half hour, and so I'm going to ask you the same question. Were you in 4-H or FFA or showed anything at your county fair back in the old days of you and me?
Way back in the olden days. Yes, I was in 4-H, started in Gunnegan County and went into Minidoka County. And then my kids were raised up in 4-H. I think it's one of the greatest organizations out there.
I agree. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Can you remember the 4-H pledge?
I pledge my heart to clearer thinking, my hands to greater loyalty, and anyway, you pledge 4 things for the 4 petals.
I thought it was my heart to better living.
Heart, health, and hands.
There you go. Yeah. I was trying to remember it myself. I thought it was I pledge my heart to better living, my hands to better service, my help me on the rest of it. I can't remember.
My hands to better service, my heart to greater loyalty, my head to better something. Anyway, it's the 4 H's, hands, heart, health, and head.
You know,
And truthfully, it is so simple, and it is so perfect. It doesn't matter. I think every child should start pledging that because it stands for so much that's up.
Absolutely. You know, I didn't mean to put you on a spot that way, but I could not remember it. I remember all the great times I had in 4-H. I remember all the great projects, and I remember, above all, the patience of all the project leaders, because sometimes I could be a nitwit.
I had some of those, and I was one of those. I think it really takes a special person to be a 4-H leader anytime, and now more than ever. But if kids can go through several years as 4-H, they'll come out all the better. And then my boys went on into FFA, which I think is just an extension of the good that comes out of 4-H.
Hey, I got it. Deanne just handed it to me, Chris. Here we go, the 4-H pledge. Here we go. I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world.
Very good. Deanne, thank you.
Yeah, she's a lifesaver.
My lazy brain.
Well, thank you.
I recognize every one of those phrases, and it's wonderful.
God bless you.
Pledge.
Thanks, Chris. God bless. Call again. Thank you so much.
I will.
All right. Boy, that brings back a lot of memories. I was a member of the Deer Creek 4-H Club back in Jefferson County. And we used to get together at Mrs. Coots's house. She was the 4-H leader. And I remember we'd all stand up and say that pledge. And I could not remember it. I had the heart and the head And no, I had the heart and the health, but I didn't have the rest of it. Head, heart, hands, and health. There we go. Thanks, Deanne. I appreciate that. We are trying to kill some time because, A, we can't find our guest, and B, I still got 15 minutes to go. And we're going to go to the weather forecast right now. Boy, that's going to be a lifesaver, and then I'll take some more of your calls. And the weather is brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. Or you can go to their website and check out all the delicious meats in their retail meat department, scarrowsmeats.com. All the breakfast sausages, the bratwurst, all the different kinds of bacon. Bacon, I love bacon. You will too. All the meats at Scarrows Meats. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we saddle up and ride again for another Cache County Fair Rodeo. Looking like a beautiful day, sunny skies. High of 85 for today, a little bit on the breezy side. Winds out of the southwest, right around 10 miles an hour. Gusts possible as high as 20 miles an hour. Tonight, clear skies with a low of 53. Tomorrow, sunny and 88 with an overnight low of 54. And as we head on into the weekend on Saturday, sunny skies, high of 90. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Oh, thank you very much. And the weather brought to you by Scarrows Meats. Don Scarrow and the rest of the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. Delicious meats. I've known Don for a long time, and I'll tell you what, they are always out to better serve you. Scarrows Meats, changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Needless to say, Wheels, we still haven't found our guest, right?
Yes, sir. It still just goes to his voicemail, and I don't know what's up with...
Well, I tell you what, we'll leave the phone lines open, and we'll just see if anybody else wants to call in regarding the county fairs and their 4-H projects and all their memories of the good old days. And I've always said that there's 3 things at a county fair that I just absolutely love. I love the atmosphere. And I love taking animals to the fair. We were, of course, involved in the horse project. And the other thing is the food. Oh, my. There's something about a cheeseburger or a maple bar or an ice cream cone or some kind of ice cream at the county fair. It just tastes so much better. And like at the Cache County Fair, my memories being involved in that for almost 30 years involve, of course, all those maple bars that were made over there. And for the life of me, I can't remember the booth that they came from. Wonderful, wonderful people. But the delicious maple bars, they were phenomenal. And I'll never forget the one year that Dr. History, Dr. Ken Turner, had a whole box full of these maple bars made up, and then they put bacon on top of the maple bars. Now, for those of you that might be wrinkling your nose, and originally I was one of them thinking, bacon on a maple bar? Oh, that is delicious. You got to try it sometime.
Yeah, you got me at food. To be honest, I'm probably going to end up going over this evening to the fair.
Well, you have a good time at the county fair. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to buy a bunch of food. I want you to spend a lot of money. I want you to absolutely have a good time, and I might even help reimburse you for it because you deserve a good night out after all you've gone through in the last 2 weeks. You deserve a little fun.
Well, that's very sweet of you guys.
Don't say sweet when you're talking to me. You can say nice. You can say how good of you and everything. Don't say sweet. To me, that's politically incorrect.
Well, that's very nice of you. I think I might go over then and see how that maple bacon...
You got to try one. You got to try one. Ask them for it. Be sure and say, I want a maple bar with bacon on top of it. Oh, it's delicious.
Everything's good with bacon.
Okay, there you go, buddy. Thank you. Calls are welcome. And as I said, we're killing time on a Thursday. And the reason is our guest decided that well, I think he forgot. Anthony Rinaldi, and he was going to talk about the President Trump's infrastructure bill. We were going to kind of tear it apart and see where all the money's going to come from. And so anyway, that didn't happen. So calls are welcome, 436-2244. You can really tell who your friends are when they leave you high and dry and they don't call you on the radio when you've got time to kill. Calls are welcome, please. Thank you very much, caller. You are blessed, and there's a certain part of heaven that's waiting for you. Good morning.
It's the lower region of heaven that I'm going to be in.
You know, Randy, when you make plans for this program, and I really put a lot of time and effort every day into trying to find different diversified subjects and guests, and when they don't show up and you verified that they will be on the air before you go on the air that morning, I called everybody, and then all of a sudden you get a dead spot. It kind of makes you want to, never mind. What can I do for you?
Well, it's frustrating, you know. I mean, you're running a tight ship, and they may or may not appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
The day when you had Raheem Kassam on, or
yes,
whatever his name was.
That is correct, yes.
And then that night he was on Fox, and I forget if it was Tucker or wherever, but it was, I told my wife, I said, well, geez, you know, I asked that guy a question this morning, and so that was very impressive. And, you know, the guests that are on this radio program, the Zeb Bell program, Zeb at the Ranch, again, I've said this in the past because I know, because I listen, I check. There's nobody that has guests on with the kind of scope that you do anywhere that I know of in southern Idaho, and I don't know about northern Idaho because it's Coeur d'Alene, wherever, you know, Lewiston. And so, whether or not it's Idaho Falls, Boise, or Twin, there's nobody that has the guests that you have. And so, those kinds of things are very important to the people of southern Idaho here, and I just want them to realize how important it is for us. We're a very informed public here, and I appreciate it.
Well, not as much as I appreciate your kind words. I want to pass some thank yous along. I could not do this program. I had really thought about canceling the show for this year because it's a real hard grind getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning and calling back to New York and Washington, D.C. and making sure that you've got guests lined up at least a week ahead of time. And some of my dear friends back in New York and Washington, D.C. with various networks and affiliation with these different guests have been so helpful in setting me up with them so we could have private conversations and get their telephone numbers and talk to them and everything on the air. It took a lot of time and effort to build this show up to what it is today. And now I feel so comfortable. I don't care if it's General Thomas McInerney or if it's somebody on Fox News or if it's Mr. Hassam that was on the air the other day. We can get anybody in the country on this program, and I thank all the people that have helped me, especially one person. And that is my wife, Deanne. You can't imagine the amount of effort and time that she puts into assisting me in making this program run, Randy, and I really want to give her a lot of credit.
Well, you know, this is the thing, you know, it's called free market capitalism, and you run a business and you go out and create the income to keep it running, and the people see the value of it, and they listen and they pay their advertising. And you see, nobody needs to tell you how to do it. And this is the reason why America is great.
Well,
because people have ideas and they're allowed to do it. And hopefully, you know, we can get rid of the destructors. Of course, we're never going to get rid of them. But you see, that are trying to destroy the Trump administration, who's trying to loosen up the rules and regulations and allow Americans to be Americans. Because I've said this numerous times, nobody in this world understands America like Americans.
Yeah.
They may think they know us in the UK. They may think they know us in France and Germany, whether or not it's Merkel looking her nose down at Trump because he didn't denounce the white supremacists, or whether or not it's Theresa May in England. They don't get it. They'll never get it, and they sure as hell don't get the people of America that voted for Trump.
Amen. You know, Randy, I appreciate all your calls, and you've been very, very faithful and loyal as a listener, and thank you, your family, and everything. And I want to also thank you for helping me fill a few minutes, because it was a big void there without our guest, and I appreciate it. God bless you, and have a wonderful weekend.
You bet, and I've been known to be full of hot air.
So have I. So have I, my dear friend. God bless you, man. Thanks.
You bet.
All right, thank you. Nice people in my audience. I appreciate them, and there's one of them. Thank you. By the way, I want to remind you, too, about our major sponsor, and that, of course, is the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Wow. I mean, when I say wow, I mean really wow. They are so big, so popular, and their service is absolutely outstanding. When you go in there, they come out to your vehicle at a high low. May we help you? What do you need? What can we do for you? I mean, they are wonderful, and they've got all the tires. They got all the tread designs. They've got all the sizes for all the vehicles, all the trailers, everything. And a lot of people don't know the very best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. Batteries, that's important, I'm telling you. And they want you to get where you're going and then safely come back home. They are the best at what they do. All 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Wheels, again, thank you for your great service to this program and trying to find the guest. We looked, but we did not find him for this morning, and we'll find out why. And we want to urge everybody to have a good weekend, a safe weekend. Enjoy the Cassia County Fair. Be careful out there on the roadways. Lots of construction. Lots of people coming in for the eclipse viewing. Be careful. Until next Monday at 8:06, Zeb at the Ranch, right here on KBAR 1230 AM, and streaming live all over the world on ZebBell.com. Be careful, God bless, and remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be. See you Monday.